What we can see in these images is a very large number of uncontacted Mashco-Piro indigenous people. They live in the Peruvian Amazon. We believe that there are up to 750.
Brace yourself for a journey into the unknown as we uncover the fascinating stories of mysterious, uncontacted tribes that have evaded modern civilization. From the club-wielding Korubo in Brazil to the elusive Carabayo of Colombia, these communities live in complete isolation, moving silently through the rainforest and guarding secrets we've yet to discover. We will delve into tales of tribes who seem to communicate with the jungle itself, evade all attempts at contact, and fiercely protect their hidden worlds. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have the Korubo Tribe from Brazil. The Korubo Tribe, hidden deep within Brazil's remote Javari Valley in Amazonas state, are known to the few who've heard of them as the Club People. These hunter-gatherers navigate the dense Amazon rainforest with grace and knowledge that seems almost otherworldly. They live a nomadic lifestyle, moving silently through the jungle and leaving barely a trace behind. Their minimal contact with the outside world has only added to the aura of mystery surrounding them. Tales from nearby tribes speak of the Korubo's uncanny ability to communicate with the jungle itself, as if they share a secret language with the flora and fauna. They're fiercely protective of their isolation, wielding heavy wooden clubs not just as weapons, but as symbols of their unbroken connection to ancient traditions. Some say that crossing paths with the Korubo is like stepping back in time, offering a fleeting glimpse into a world untouched by modern civilization. A world that doesn't want to be found. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Mashco-Piro Tribe in Peru. Deep within Peru's Manu National Park, the Mashco-Piro Tribe moves silently through the dense rainforest, almost like ghosts in their own land. These nomadic people have actively avoided contact with the outside world for as long as anyone can remember. As illegal logging and deforestation creep closer to their hidden dwellings, more sightings of the tribe have been reported, but each glimpse only adds to their mystique. Some say that the Mashco-Piro possess an uncanny ability to blend with the jungle, disappearing into the foliage in the blink of an eye. Stories circulate about their deep connection with the wildlife, suggesting they can communicate with animals to forewarn them of approaching outsiders. Could these tales be true, or are they just products of overactive imaginations? Either way, the Mashco-Piro remain a mysterious presence, guardians of secrets that the modern world can't penetrate. In our number 8 spot today, we have the Kawahiva Tribe. Hidden deep within the rainforests of Mato Grosso state, the Kawahiva Tribe leads a life cloaked in secrecy and wonder. This small nomadic group is constantly on the move, navigating the dense jungle with an expertise that defies modern understanding. They leave no trace, no footprints, no campsites, as if they merge seamlessly with the forest itself. Locals whisper about fleeting glimpses of the Kawahiva, shadowy figures darting between trees, vanishing as quickly as they appear. Some say they possess an uncanny ability to communicate with the jungle, using the rustling leaves and animal calls as their clandestine language. Threatened by illegal logging and relentless land clearing, they've become masters of evasion, turning survival into an art form. The Kawahiva remain one of the Amazon's greatest mysteries, a living testament to a world that chooses to remain hidden from our own. In our number 7 spot today, we have the Fleicheros, or the Ayoreo people. Located deep within Brazil's Javari Valley indigenous land, the Fleicheros, known to outsiders as the Ayoreo people, live a life steeped in mystery and guarded by tradition. Renowned for their unparalleled skill with the bow, they move through the dense jungle with a stealth that borders on the mythical. Stories abound of arrows whistling through the trees, warning signs for those who wander too close to their hidden dwellings. Their hostile interactions with outsiders aren't mere aggression, they're a fierce defense of a world they've kept untouched by time. Some whisper that the Fleicheros can track movements miles away, sensing disturbances in the forest long before any outsider is aware of them. Could they possess ancient knowledge that modern society has forgotten? In our number 6 spot today, we have the isolated Awá Tribe. Deep in the lush forests of Brazil, the isolated Awá tribe lives a life woven into the very fabric of the jungle. While some Awá have stepped into the fringes of modern society, uncontacted groups still exist, moving silently under the canopy of ancient trees. They're considered one of the world's most endangered tribes, their existence threatened by relentless logging and land invasions. Stories from nearby communities tell of the Awa's remarkable ability to meld into their surroundings. They say the tribe can disappear among the trees in an instant, leaving no trace behind. Some even whisper that the Awá share a mystical bond with the wildlife, communicating with creatures of the forest to safeguard their hidden paths. In our number 5 spot today, we have the Tagaeri Tribe from Ecuador. Hidden deep within Ecuador's Yasuni National Park, the elusive Tagaeri Tribe lives a life shrouded in mystery and legend. As a secretive subgroup of the Waorani people, they've chosen to sever ties with the modern world, protecting their ancestral lands from any outsider's footsteps. Stories abound of the Tagaeri's uncanny ability to navigate the dense jungle. Some say they possess maps of the terrain etched into their minds, pathways invisible to the untrained eye. There are whispers that they can communicate with the very soul of the forest, understanding the language of the animals and the rustling leaves. Occasional encounters with loggers or explorers often end with swift warnings, arrows appearing out of nowhere, embedding in trees as a silent but potent message to turn back. Do the Tagaeri hold ancient secrets we've yet to uncover, or are they simply guardians of a way of life that refuses to fade? In our number 4 spot today, we have the Toromona. The Toromona are a group of people who are indigenous to Bolivia, and they live near the upper Madidi River, which is part of the Amazon basin, and the Heath River in the northwestern area of Bolivia. There hasn't been any notable contact with the tribe aside from other indigenous tribes, but this tribe was talked about a lot when a Norwegian biologist searched specifically for the tribe for many years before he mysteriously disappeared in the region of the Madidi Park in 1997. The tribe has remained quite isolated, and the most recent known sighting in the 21st century was when the Ayoreo people of Bolivia informed an anthropologist named Michael Broan that they had contacted a group that was in voluntary isolation on the eastern bank of the Minuri River. It wasn't confirmed that this was the Toromona tribe, but it is believed that that's who they saw. Thankfully, in 2006, Bolivia's administrative resolution created an exclusive, reserved, and untouchable portion of the Madidi National Park in order to protect the Toromona and their desires to be uncontacted. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Carabayo Tribe. Deep within the heart of Colombia's Rio Pira National Park, the Carabayo Tribe exists in a world almost entirely separate from our own. Cloaked by the dense canopy of the rainforest, they are one of the most mysterious uncontacted tribes on the planet. Very little is known about them, but whispers among neighboring communities speak of their extraordinary ability to move through the jungle unseen, as if they are a part of it. Some legends suggest they possess ancient wisdom, secrets of the rainforest that allow them to heal wounds with rare plants or predict the weather through subtle changes in nature, and their minimal encounters with outsiders have often been hostile, perhaps a fierce defense against the encroachment of modernity. In our number 2 spot today, we have the Dslala. The Dslala are an indigenous people of Brazil living in the lower Vale do Javari in the western Amazon basin. These people are split into 2 groups, one splinter group led by a woman named Maya that is around 23 people, while the larger group is around 150. The split between the groups came from a dispute between around 20 members, and while the larger group remains quite isolated, the smaller group has had some infrequent contact with neighboring settlements. The hunting and war weapon of choice of this tribe is a club, but they are also known to use poison darts. Both the men and the women of this tribe paint themselves with red dye that is made from plants. There is little that is known about their religious or spiritual practices, but it is known that they live in communal huts, which is something that is different from many of the other uncontacted tribes on today's list. The tribe's biggest struggle in terms of illness and death at the moment seems to be malaria. This tribe has a long history with the massacres of indigenous people, so it makes sense that they want to remain isolated and have not welcomed outside contact very much since the 1950s. In 1996, there began expeditions to try and make peaceful contact, but they are known to kill trespassers on their land, which we truly cannot blame them for, and the most recent known incident of this nature came in 2000 when 3 lumbermen were killed near the reservation. It definitely serves as a reminder to leave people who don't want to be contacted alone. If they want our influence, they know where to find us. And finally, in our number 1 spot today, we have the Ayoreo Tribe. The Ayoreo people are the indigenous people of the Gran Chaco, and they live in both Bolivia as well as Paraguay. There are approximately 5,600 Ayoreo peoples, and while many of them ended up becoming sedentarized by missionaries in the 20th century, there are around 100 people who have still maintained the traditional nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle and remain uncontacted. The Ayoreo were first contacted by Jesuits in the 1720s to try and convert people to Catholicism, and in the 1740s the mission was abandoned and the Ayoreo were luckily left alone, until the 1900s. The Chaco War between Bolivia and Paraguay brought in 100,000 troops to the territory, as well as all of the diseases that they carried. In the 1940s and 50s, the work of missionaries continued, and in the late 50s, missionaries used force and manipulation to remove the Ayoreo from their land to various mission stations, and the land where they once lived was sold for cattle farming. These mission stations forced the Ayoreo living in them to give up their culture, including their religion, appearance, music, and diet, and missionaries sometimes convinced the Ayoreo living at the missions to find other uncontacted Ayoreo in the forest to then convert them. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host, Dalia Kozlovsky, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.